The U.S. State Department says that it is not including Nigeria on its list of countries that violate religious freedom. A statement was sent to EWTN saying after careful review, the Secretary of State has assessed that Nigeria does not meet the legal threshold for designation under the Religious Freedom Act. Human rights activists are blasting that decision. One report says last year alone, 5,000 Christians were killed in the African country. Earlier this year, a Catholic priest was burned to death. Joining us now to discuss is Representative Chris Smith of New Jersey, co-chair of the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission. Congressman Smith, great to be with you. A lot to get to, but first, your reaction to the State Department's decision.
It's outrageous. It's unmerited. Under the Trump administration, Pompeo had designated Nigeria a country of particular concern. And I was there in 1998 and helped write the original law authored by Frank Wolf. We worked very hard on definitions. And then a few years back, I wrote and reauthorized and expanded IRFA. I named it after him. It was my bill, my law. And I know every comma and semicolon of that law. And I can't believe that Secretary Blinken would say it doesn't meet the definition. Something on the order of 17,000 churches have been firebombed or destroyed. Many people have been killed and wounded. As you mentioned, in 2022 alone, over 5,000 Christians were targeted by the Fulani, the Boko Haram, and other terrorist organizations. When the Secretary of State went to Abuja, and I've been there many times, he met with Buhari and said, here's a gift. You're no longer a country of particular concern, subjected to sanctions because of your egregious violations of religious freedom. I know many of the Catholics, the Christians. I chaired a hearing on it just several months ago, and it is getting worse, not better. And Buhari, the president, is turning a blind eye. Finally, I remember going to Jos, which is where Boko Haram had blown up a number of Catholic churches. I met with Archbishop Kegama, who was an absolutely amazing leader of the Catholic Church there. And I met with the Muslims because they're also getting attacked, but not as much, but they are getting attacked by these radical Islamist organizations. I went to these churches that had been firebombed. I met with one man in an IDP camp, internally displaced, who said Boko Haram put a AK-47 in his cheek and said, you either renounce your faith or I'll blow your brains out. They blew his face out. He survived. I brought him to Washington, and he testified about this horrible rise of anti-Christian belief and this promotion of radical Islamic terrorism. It's getting worse. Like I said, the groups, the International Religious Freedom Commission, which was created by IRFA in '98 and strengthened in my law, they all said this is crazy. And many of us, but in a bipartisan way on Capitol Hill, can't believe that they would look the other way when, again, the president of Nigeria, Buhari, is aiding and abetting the slaughter of Christians. There's no other country in the world where more Christians are actually being martyred and murdered. In China, more are being put into the Laogai or concentration camps and being tortured. But in this case, they're just being destroyed because they're Christians.
Representative Smith, we have about 30 seconds left.
Sure.
Quickly, I want to pivot here and ask you about this development. What more do you know about this high-altitude object that was shot down over Alaska today, and how concerning is this?
It's very concerning. It wasn't until a person, not the military, that told us, or the Biden administration, spotted in the sky, took pictures that made it into the media. One thing that I brought out in the debate on the floor yesterday, it could have easily been an EMP, a nuclear bomb detonated at high altitude that takes out fries the entire infrastructure, electrical infrastructure of a very, very large space of America. And it was allowed to go over our ICBM bases and others. It could have been shot down over the Aleutian Islands. It should have been, and then retrieve what it has. But again, I think the Chinese are testing us. Xi Jinping, the president of China, and I've chaired 76 hearings on human rights abuse in China. This man tortures, kills, maims. He's engaging in genocide. Tracy, as you and I are talking on this show against the Muslims, he has militaristic ambitions to go far beyond Taiwan. His hegemony in the region is notorious, and they're growing their influence, courtesy of a lot of our technology, by the way.
Well, Congressman Smith, thank you so much for coming on and weighing in. We always appreciate your insights. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Tracy.